everybody, and welcome back to the Blue Snot channel. Today I am back with another match preview as I'll be previewing the Quakes versus the Chicago Fire. But before I begin this preview, let's actually talk about the Cali Classico last week at StubHub Center, which I of course attended. And I'm not going to be doing a kind of a review on the actual game because really these players and this team just does not deserve a single second of me talking about what they just did in the Cali Classico in last week. But I want to talk more about the fan experience and how I think this was probably one, if not the worst fan experience that I ever had in a Quakes game. And there was just so many problems with me attending this game. One of the biggest problem that I found is that right at the end of the game, we were basically held hostage for 30 minutes after the final whistle. And I think the only logical reason I can think the fact that we were held hostage and we were not allowed to leave after the final whistle goal is because I guess they don't want us to leave with the Galaxy fans at the end of the game and potentially start off a fight or something like that. But the fact that they hold us hostage for 30 minutes in there before escorting out of the stadium, I just thought that it was just way too long. And even when they try to escort us out of the stadium, they actually didn't even do that. They literally escort us out of the concourse level where there was nobody there, and they basically told us to just kind of like stay there for the next, I don't know how many minutes. They said like the next 10 or 20 minutes, but it turns out it wasn't the case, because 10 to 20 minutes later, after they said that they were going to escort us out, they literally just let us stay there. And it was just get to a point where I was just so desperate to get out of the stadium that I literally had to hide my Quakes gear to get out of the stadium. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous, the fact that I have to do that. And really, I just think that whoever organized this kind of the way how the Quakes fan will get out of the stadium after the end of the game, they should be ashamed of themselves, and they should potentially get fired for this, because it is just disgusting the fact that this is the way to get out of the stadium. And the fact that like any fans that really desperately need to get out of the stadium need to hide your team identity to get out of the stadium like that. I mean, no, that is just absolutely disgraceful, absolutely disgusting, and it just kind of makes me don't want to go to another Cali Classico at StubHub Center if that is the way that they're gonna treat us like that. But yeah, talking about this match between the Quakes and the Chicago Fire, well, yeah, I have a feeling that we are probably not going to get anything out of this game. And even though, despite the fact that the Chicago Fire should be one of the most doable team that we should get a result on the road, and certainly one of the easiest team that we will face on the road, because the Fire this season are not very good, and that they have been very inconsistent this year and kind of like stuck in this win-loss kind of pattern. And since in the last match they won their last match, that means that they're probably going to be due for a loss in this game. But that is really not the reason why I think the Quakes are not going to win this game. The reason why the Quakes are not going to win this game is because this team is absolutely low on confidence. You know, this team is literally not even at rock bottom level. They are literally right below the rock bottom level and into the bedrock level. And if they continue this kind of form, they might as well just melt and disintegrate into the earth core, because this team is, that is how this team form has been in these last couple of weeks and pretty much throughout this season. And also we have the fact that the players on this team are clearly not playing for the shirt and clearly playing like they are individual more than operating like a team. We got a manager that clearly doesn't know his starting 11, clearly doesn't know what formation he's using, and also clearly don't know the tactics at all and how to manage this team properly. And potentially he's going to be getting the sack in these next couple of weeks if Resort is not going to pick up. And if you add all that in terms of the recipe for disaster, that is exactly how it's going to be. But the good news I will say about this game for the Quakes, and I think this is a huge break that we just caught, is that Nemanja Nikolic is potentially not going to be starting in this game. And the reason why I say this is a huge break for us is because that is the main player that the Fire will always trying to target him. I mean, he is literally the main target man for this Fire team. He is the guy that scores the goals for this team. He is the guy that at times bail out this team in bad kind of situation. And the fact that we are potentially not going to see him in this game is just going to be a huge break for us. But it's also going to be a huge blow to the Chicago Fire, because now they need to somehow find a way to find another target man that they can use to potentially put the goal into the back of the net. Now, one guy that I think that they probably will find is gonna be Alexander Katai, which I think this is gonna be the guy that we got to watch out for, because, you know, Katai so far this season, you know, he's been pretty well this season. You know, he was the guy that bought in that was supposed to replace David Accam, and although he hasn't been kind of a guy that is gonna be right near the same level as where David Accam is, I mean, I just kind of had a feeling that when they lost David Accam and trying to replace somebody else, which that somebody else was Alexander Katai, I just had a feeling that it's not going to really work. And so far, it kind of didn't work, but at the times, I don't think Katai has been just really bad with this team, and that he actually at times did kind of show that level that David Accam had with that Chicago Fire team last season. So that is one of the guys that we got to watch out for in this game. And in terms for the starting 11 for this game, well, you know, like what it is with Michael Starhay, with the fact that he has just no kind of starting 11, he has no kind of formation that he wants to use with the squad. The same thing goes with me. I mean, I don't know exactly which player even deserve to be on this team anymore, because most of them really suck. I think the only player I think deserves to be on this team is Lima, and also Youngworth to be in the starting 11, but the other 9 guys, they clearly don't belong in the starting 11 in this team. But still, we got to put out a starting 11, and in goal, it is going to be Andrew Tarbell. You know, Tarbell in the last game, he didn't really do much, and I really think that he really couldn't do anything about that amazing goal that was scored by Roman Alessandrini. And then in the left back, it is going to be Shea Salinas. Yes, I know I said before that I will never put Shea Salinas in the left back position, but recently, since I heard Joel Kuiper is now sending down to our USL affiliate team, Reno 1868, then we basically just have no other option but Salinas in that left back, because we just don't have anybody that can play in that left back position. As much as I don't want to put him there, I'm forced to do it. Now, in terms of the back line, and since that Cummins is not going to be in this lineup because he is now with Panama in the World Cup, and that of course the same goes with Godoy, we're going to have to reshuffle the back line a little bit, and it's going to be Ockford and Quintana. And I know Quintana hasn't been playing in these last couple of games, and I'm pretty sure he is back to full fitness, but the reason why we haven't been playing him in the last couple of games is that he basically sucked as a defender. But hopefully Ockford and Quintana, that kind of partnership will be developed. I honestly don't know. Like, I just have a feeling that, you know, there's really no good option for our defense and our back line besides Ockford and Youngworth. And the reason why I don't put Youngworth in the back line in this game is because we need another holding midfielder, and the only other holding midfielder we had is Jackson Yule. And like I said, Godoy is going to the World Cup. That means that somebody's gonna have to fill up that holding midfield role, and I think Youngworth is gonna be that player. Now, in terms of the right back, it is going to be Nick Lima, and like I said, in the holding midfield, it's going to be Youngworth and Jackson Yule. In the left wing, it is going to be Magnus Eriksson. In the right wing, it is going to be Vako. I mean, so far, those two players have just once again, like many players that we have signed in the past, they have pretty much disappointed us, especially Vako too. I mean, you know, last season I thought when we bought in Vako as a DP, he looked absolutely amazing. But this season, he's been just hot garbage. Like, seriously, this season, it just feels like he just, for whatever reason, he just becomes selfish or something like that. And, you know, he's not the only person that is kind of like selfish and playing as an individual, because pretty much every single player on this team are kind of like that. But he is the most notable guy, as the guy that is clearly not playing like he is playing for as the team, and that he just want to have the individual glory. So yeah, even though I don't want to put him in the starting 11, he is a DP, and the worst thing we can do is just to bench a DP, which you probably have already heard that story in the past for the Quakes. But yeah, Vako is going to be there, and Eriksson is going to be in there. And then up front, it is going to be Wando and Husin. And, you know, Wando, I thought him coming into the last game against the LA Galaxy could potentially bring us some spark, but he basically just kind of looked like what Wando is this season, which is not very good. And I think this is one of the first season where Wando just looked nothing like he was in the last couple of seasons, and scoring and banging those goals into the back of the net, which tells me that probably Father Time is started to catch up to him, and that he can't really just, like, I feel like maybe teams have started to figure out the way that he gets into a good area and basically pretty much put the ball into the back of the net. But at the same time, I think maybe the other reason why he hasn't scoring a lot of goal is because not a lot of players are giving him the ball. And this also goes back to what I said about some of the players like Votko and Eriksson. Those players are not looking at for Wando to try to potentially give him the ball and get him in a good area where he can basically put the ball into the back of the net. But still, Wando is going to be there alongside with Danny Husin, who is really the only player that can score on us. I mean, Danny Husin right now, he's kind of like the Nemanja Nikolic of the Chicago Fire right now, just carrying this team in terms of the goal scoring department. So he's going to be there, and that of course is the starting 11 that I have put for this game against the Fire. And in terms of the prediction of this game, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about this game. I don't want to say we're gonna, even though I said that we're probably gonna lose this game, I don't want to have that kind of mentality. I want us to at least get a big result so that potentially we can get this season back on track. I mean, it feels like the more we're into the season, the more that I say that we're gonna need a big win to try to get back on track. That kind of sounds like a diluted statement as the season has go on, but I'm just hoping that we can get a result out of this, and I'm gonna say we're gonna draw this game. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 2-2 draw in this game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.